the ArtistnMore Experience, a show by creators for creators. Today we have one of the most exciting and energetic artists in Australia. He's an international singer-songwriter with a distinct soulful R&B funk style that goes really well with his young boy old soul vibe. Today we have with us the one and only Mike Champion. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm blessed to be here in this moment with you. So,
yes. Okay, so let's start off. Congratulations on your show at Max Watts.
Thank you so much.
That looked amazing.
It was.
How was it being back on stage again in front of real friends?
It was amazing to be back on stage. I mean, I love to be there. I've been performing for such a long time. And it was good to have a break in 2020 from performing and being on stage, just to focus on music in the studio. But I mean, to be back on stage and just be with the audience, be with my band. And we really came to the Max Watts show with a big lineup in the band. Yeah, I think it was like a 9-10 piece band.
Oh, wow.
So to hit the stage again with a band of that size, it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling. Just amazing to connect the energy in the room.
Yeah. So do you have any more big shows coming up this year?
I'm always working on shows. You know, I've got a few like little smaller intimate shows coming up, you know, in the coming weeks, just promoting new music. But I definitely plan to, the middle of this year, do a show of that scale in the western suburbs of Sydney. So I'm working on that at the moment. So possibly in the middle of the year, I'm going to do an outdoor, you know, young boy type festival. Have, you know, some local artists support
Festival,
the show
that
as
sounds
well.
nice.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Okay. Would it be like a multi-day, just like a one-day festival kind of?
It's a one day thing, definitely. One stage, everyone will share the same stage.
Yeah.
And I'll look to headline the event, but also, you know, collaborate with a lot of the artists that I'm collaborating with and the producers that I'm collaborating with at the moment. So,
That's great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, so when it comes to your career, you're like your perseverance and dedication is like on one, like 100%. And I, like me, like other people, I also thought that you were signed.
Yeah.
And then when I heard you wasn't signed, I was like, oh. Like, okay, like, fair enough. A lot of people don't want to be signed and all that deals and stuff. But what made you want to be like, I'm going to do this on my own. I don't need to be with a label.
I think just always having to, you know, keep control. Always wanting and feeling the need to keep control of my brand and really who I'm trying to be in music. And not just in music, I guess just in my message in life and as a man. So... you know, going down the independent route for me, I really enjoy the grind of like learning, you know, and creating and opening new doors for myself, you know. So, and also being able to learn the business in a way that I can utilize that space and open new doors for others and the people that are going to come, you know, after me as well. So I think that's why I've always remained independent and just, you know, stayed consistent with my sound, my music, and just it's really a dedication to myself, I guess, just to be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay. And in regards to your sound, because you have like a smooth R&B hip hop kind of sound, where did that come from?
I'm highly influenced by like a lot of different styles of music, you know. So I think just listening to music for one has always been my thing. I'm definitely a music fan. Before anything, before being an artist and a creator, I'm just really a fan of music. So being able to make it myself is definitely, you know, it's something that I feel honored to be able to do. So I just take from, you know, the old school music that my mom used to listen to in the house and be banging live DVDs, and I think that's where I kind of got the concept of live music and seeing old school bands like Earth, Wind and Fire and you know, Stevie, Michael Jackson, the first show I ever watched. So, you know, seeing them perform and do their live show, it really gave me, you know, a love and commitment to live music. But then also just listening to the records and being a collector of CDs. And I remember like when I was in school and the internet first came out and it was like, it was 56K modem and I was the one like staying up late at night in my house taking up all the data, just like leaving 30 songs on download to see, like, wake up in the morning and see how many of, 10 of those 30 songs downloaded. But it was always a thing to like have that that new music and introduce it to my boys, my clique, and be like, man, have you heard this track?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a beautiful thing about music is it creates those conversations and those, relationships between people where it's something you can share, with your crew and be like, bro, you gotta hear this song. And when you hear that, it's taking that moment to listen to it together for the first time. It really creates a bond between people.
It really brings people together.
Definitely, it really creates a bond between people. So it's, I think my love for music and creating music and my sound definitely came from having those moments where I shared that bond with, my homies, like we played in the car, I just played loud for the first time, like I copped this song last night, man, you gotta hear it.
Yeah.
It really created my, my need to want to create music of my own. And yeah, just my sound.
Yeah. Nice. And what point in your life where, like when you started doing music, where in your life where you decided, I think I can do this full time? Like this is something that I actually want to make a career out of it.
I think it just organically happened for me, to be honest. Like I always had that passion for music and songwriting, and I played live music. I was in a band when I was 8 years old,
Oh, really?
Playing. I was playing with a rapper from Soweto, South African rapper. He's passed away now. His name was Miles, and he was kind of my mentor. And I was in a group called Sensitivity, which was with two of my sisters and another girl, and we were like a side project of this big Sydney band called Lovetown. So Lovetown was that was the band that everyone was going to watch in Sydney, at the time. And they had seen something in me and saw something in my sisters as well and put us together in a group. And so my artist name was Mickey C. When I was 8 years old, this is when my music career started, It was Mickey C. And I was kind of like I was on that crisscross vibe. Like I was rapping. I started rapping, and Miles, who was, my brother, rest his soul, he mentored me, in music and had me in the studio, teaching me how to rap, put rhymes together or whatever. And so I guess my music career started then. And when I was in school, I always had the passion, so I wrote music. Never really shared it with anyone, but it was just the way I was expressing myself, to just write lines, write songs. I didn't really. I guess from a young age, I was taught the concept of writing songs, so I subconsciously I remembered it, even though I wasn't pursuing music.
Yeah.
And then when I finished school, I remember I had written 3 songs, and I just somehow showed them to my sister, and she was like, "Damn, you wrote this." She was, because I didn't really think anything of it. I wasn't like thinking like I'm just writing what I'm thinking, But then she saw it as, damn, you wrote songs? Like, yeah, the concept of writing songs. So she was like, yeah, we gotta get in the studio. So she put me in the studio with the producer that was around at the time, recorded 3 songs, ended up playing those 3 songs for like a promoter in Sydney. The promoter booked me for a show. And that show, after that show, I guess the reviews from that show, all the promoters in Sydney ended up booking me at their clubs, and it was nightclub performances. So I ended up just playing all the nightclubs, doing performances in all those nightclubs. And then from there, I was like, okay, I'm going to do the music thing.
Oh, wow. So how old were you when...
Well, I was when I first came out of school. So I was like, when I first started performing, I was 17, 18. Yeah, around there. Yeah.
So that's big to happen at that age as well, too. Like,
yeah, it was crazy.
And like you already had that talent, and like somehow like... I guess your sister kind of just brought it out of you, like...
Definitely.
Because for you, it was just writing, and then when someone else sees your writing, it's like, that's music.
Yeah, I think, I think having the belief from someone else, and someone else being able to see a bigger picture for you, I think it's an important thing, It's good to be surrounded by people that are trying to bring the best out of you. Or just, push you to what you can naturally do, because I feel like sometimes as creatives, we don't see that in ourselves. We're just like, I can do this, but I'm not going to take it that seriously.
Yeah.
So having someone in your corner and my family, honestly, I'm very blessed to have a family that has always supported me in music. Like my parents, they come to all my shows still.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, 10, 15 years in the music industry performing, and they're still there at every show, front and center, like it's the first time they're watching your performance. So to have that, you know, and be a creative and be an artist, it means a lot. And yeah, I know. I mean, if you can find people like that that are just gonna be in your corner, ride or die with you, it's a lot easier to just stay at it.
Yeah, because I can see that it's a bit hard for other up and coming people, especially like when African parents, they don't really take the music industry that serious. It's just kind of like, why are you making all this noise? What are you doing? And sometimes it's hard for them to get that support from their family and stuff.
No,
so
most definitely.
yeah, so like from you, like it's really important to have a good like back support, like when it comes to this.
Most definitely, you know. And I mean, if it's not gonna come from your immediate family, it's just, it really comes down to you just, if you're starting out, really going off feeling. So like, if this makes you feel good to do this, if it makes you feel good to create music, and you feel like your best self creating or being a musician or being an artist, entertainer, a writer, whatever it is in the arts, I really think just, if you're not going to get it from your immediate family and the people around you, really surround yourself with people that are going to become your creative family.
Yeah.
So they're going to really inspire you and continue to push you to, you know, move forward.
Because it's hard to do it on your own.
It definitely is. It's definitely hard to do it on your own. There's a lot. I mean, in the world we live in today, you see so much. There's so many artists releasing. You know, you have a lot of competition, and automatically you think, damn, like, am I good enough to do this?
Yeah.
But, you know, we're all here with a purpose, you really, and the talent that you have as an artist is God-given. So God puts you here to use that, you know, use that as your voice, and really it's your story is always unique. And it's always going to appeal to somebody, because there's always someone that can relate to your story. You know, so changing one life from your own story is that, you know, that's something we should aspire to do, you know, and influence each other in a positive way.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Okay, so in your previous album experience, so you had a track in there called Sweet Life, and you were making references to being authentic. And like just being true to yourself. Like how important is that for up and coming artists when it comes to building their image and building their brand and finding who they are? Like,
I think it's so important. It's all going off feel, you know, like just really feeling like, am I being my true self in this, you know, in creating music? Because I think with music you can really get influenced by what's popular.
Yeah, what's trending.
What's trending, what's popular, you know. So Sweet Life, I really wrote at a time where I was, you know, I was going through anxiety, of the same kind of anxieties that most artists would go through, is trying to keep up, you know, and trying to keep my brand in the limelight, trying to keep it up there, whatever. And I had to just take a step back and really reflect, and I wrote Sweet Life just as a reference point for myself to always listen to and go back to and say, this is who you need to be in this industry and in this lifetime, you know, sweet life, man.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder to go back and just be like, there's a reason why I'm doing this. Like,
most definitely. Yeah. And it's good to have reason. Yeah. It's good to have reason why you're doing something.
And to have like a perspective, like, you know, are you doing this for fame? Are you just doing this for the clout? Like, is this something that actually makes you happy?
Most
like,
definitely.
Are you okay not to make money from it? Like,
most definitely. Most definitely. You know, I think the money side of thing too, and all that, the rest of that, it comes with persistence and dedication to yourself. You know, so it shouldn't be the catalyst. It shouldn't be at the foundation of what you're trying to build. You know, you really shouldn't do it based on how much money you can make or how many followers you might get.
Because you'd be sadly disappointed if you go in there thinking about money, because the industry is not easy. Not everyone just goes in and be like, yeah, I'm balling now. Like, you know, it doesn't work like that.
And it takes a lot of money to be able to do it.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of commitment to, you know, that things might cost money to get done, you know? But I mean, there's ways around that as well. It's being consistent and being dedicated, brings people to you.
Yeah.
It brings the right people to you at the right time, you know, and if you can stay consistently focused on your ideals and what you're trying to, you know, bring into the industry, the right people and the right doors will open for you with that focus, you know, having an open focus or being open to seeing opportunity, you know, in little things. Seeing small opportunities, you know, is it's a big thing that I pay attention to, because I'm like, man, there's a lot of people, a lot of artists that I know that are sitting in their bedrooms with no opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, so small opportunities to me I look at as...
It's better than nothing.
I think it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just another opportunity for you to show the world who you are, you know, speak your story, speak your truth into existence. Yeah.
Have you like in your career, have you had a moment where it's just kind of like, I may just want to, you just want to stop, you just want to quit? Like, have you had that moment where it's just like, I can't do this no more?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
No.
I mean, there's been times where you would second guess, am I doing the right thing? You know, am I going the right path? But I just always bring it back to like my love for being in the studio and creating music. And, you know, if I sit down and make a song, the feeling that I get after that process, it, like, I mean, while creating, but then the feeling of listening to the end result, it's a feeling that I just can't compare to anything else. And it's a feeling that I chase. It's like a high that I chase to just listen to a song back and be like, damn, we just made that.
It's truly a passion for you.
Yeah,
like,
and I love it. Like, I love it. You know? Yeah.
Okay, and so within your career, how has the Australian music industry changed? Any big changes that you've noticed?
It's getting there, man. It's evolving, you know. Like I think
it's taking its time.
It is. It's taking its time, and it's been taking. You know, it's been taking its time. That's what I should say. But you know, like to see artists really stepping into their power, and I mean not just artists. I mean like managers, you know, videographers, creators, people that do music. To see that people independently stepping into that power and taking the reins and making that happen, that is changing our music industry. You know, so it's really, the power is with the people. The power is with, it's not with labels and you know, people with those major organizations that can really like maybe throw big money behind it, because the money doesn't really make the success. It's the groundwork, it's the foundation, it's the people, you know, the people that make things successful. So to see people, I mean, like this platform is a perfect example of something that is changing our industry, you know, and pushing it forward in a major way. Because we're bringing it to new audiences, and we're just showing that we don't need to wait. We really don't need to wait to be able to achieve things and create things and let the world see us. So, and I think that's what, if I think about the music industry, you know, from when I started to now, it's the people within the industry that are changing the industry, not the big companies. And that's a beautiful thing to see. And I think it's just gonna keep evolving. It's really putting the power, you know, with the artists being able to say, you know, I can do a song today, I can get it done myself, and tomorrow I can shoot my own video. And I can release it myself.
Your time, your schedule.
Man, that's powerful.
And I think if you're with the label, that can be a bit restricting. Like, you're kind of going by their time.
Most definitely it can be restricting, because it's, I guess it's having a full understanding of your brand and how you want to be portrayed in the industry. Having the right label to be able to do that. But then also those big labels they're businesses. So
it's all about money for them.
Releasing you as a single artist, they have to look at many factors that are going to add to their business. You know, so it kind of loses that.
Is there any changes that you would like to see within the industry? Is there something new that you want to see within it in the next couple of years?
Definitely more collaboration, you know, like collaboration, I think, from artists in general, and not everyone just trying to think, you know, I have to be the one. I don't think that builds community, trying to
like not
that,
trying to be the star all the time.
most definitely having that mentality of like I have to be the one that is gonna shine, is gonna stand out. In this, that doesn't build community. I think artists collaborating with each other, getting together, like major artists and artists that have done major things, collaborating with artists that are just starting. That's
bridge
what
the
I want
gap
to see.
between
Definitely,
the two.
definitely. It's just it's more just creation. Creating with no limitations and no boundaries between each other. Just if you have a common goal, you have a common message that you're trying to put out into the world, then get together and collaborate and build those ideas together. I think that's more of that is really gonna just push us forward, into the limelight. Because honestly, I've traveled internationally and played music overseas, and Australia is highly respected in the world.
Is it?
So people are really wanting to know like what Australian artists are saying and what are they
really
thinking. It's very because we're so far from everywhere. Because we've never really had the Australian music industry in the world. What the Australian music industry is in the world. So now seeing new artists and young artists come up and delivering their stories, and speaking of things that go on here, it's very powerful because it's a new story that's being told in the world. So I feel like a lot of international artists and a lot of international companies are paying attention to that. So the power is with us for sure. And we have so much diversity in Australia as far as culture. The African culture, Asian culture, Middle Eastern culture, and the white Australian culture. We have all that here. So we have a really diverse story to tell in the world. That's interesting, and people want to hear it.
Because it's like the Australian music industry is only in Australia and hasn't ventured out into like the wide world.
Definitely. Definitely. And you see that, when you see the UK, the movement that they have there, and they have their own sound and they have their own flavor, and I mean South Africa, like the African artists in general, the African music industry and film industry, how it does so well in the world because they're telling their story, but at the same time of telling their story, they're really supporting each other and getting behind each other. And to see the African artists collaborating with each other has just taken African music to like a whole nother level in the world. And I think if we continue to do that here as artists in Australia, that's really going to be on our side.
So what are the changes that you've made this year that have helped you be ahead?
Really, it gave me a moment to just stop from performing and really just get back in the studio and just work on like, okay, what is my message now? Like, what do I want to say with music? And seeing all the things that were unfolding in the world, with all the Black Lives Matter movement and just all the craziness going on in the world. It really brought me back to my culture and my people and really just wanting to represent that a bit more with my music. So, I worked on EP. It's called BLKMGC. So like Black Magic, but my full name is Michael Gordon Champion. So it's like Black Michael Champion. Like I'm showing the black side of me in this EP. And really just representing my culture and my people. And so I split it up into, it's going to be like 15 songs. So I split it up into 3 EPs. So it'll be volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. 3 different sounds. So first sound is kind of on the R&B tip. And then second sound will be more on the K-Tronada, kind of like house tip. And third will be just a little bit more stripped, like acoustic, unplugged almost. And so I think 2020, gave me the opportunity to just see what was going on in the world. And really, I'm always an artist that I just want to write about what's going on in the world, when it's happening, and the times, and stay current with my sound by really just speaking about what's happening in the world at that moment. So 2021, 2020 gave me that opportunity to write that music. 2021 is giving me the opportunity to put that music out. So it's gonna all come out. Now I got a song coming out like 2 weeks called Black Girl Magic, and it's my first. I wanted it to be the first single because Black Girl Magic is seeing all the events unfolding last year. I was just seeing strong black women at the forefront of the fight, you know, speaking their minds, like fighting for us, and it just inspired me because I was just like, man, you know, the resilience of black women in this world like is everything, and I just want to speak about that and really, you know, pay my homage and respect to that, because I come from a family of women. I have 3 sisters, and, you know, just to have them in my corner, but then to see the strength of black women just in the world in general, and how black women just persist to keep it together, and really be there for us as black men. Like they're there for us, man. They're really, you know, the backbone, the rock. They're the women that are holding us down and keeping us moving forward. So the single like that I have coming out, Black Girl Magic, is really an ode to that. And I mean, I did it in my own like R&B.
Your own way.
My own style, you know.
But the message is still the same.
But the message is there. I have a music video to accompany the song, so, and that's the first, because that's the first thing I want to say is I want to show my respect for black women, and it's a great way to launch my EP. So.
Okay. And like, because, you know, 2020 was such a hard time, especially for up-and-coming people that couldn't go out, that couldn't collaborate with anybody else. Like, what tips do you have for artists like that are going through struggles like that are overcoming stuff? Like, what's something that you can give to them?
I think definitely just those feelings, you know, that come into play, put it into creating. You know, so really like take those feelings and sit with those feelings and then create from those feelings, because any kind of feelings is a great way to bring out new music in you, by just really letting go of those feelings through your art. You know, so that's would definitely be my advice to any artist. If you're feeling a certain way, you know, hone into those feelings and really like be comfortable in sitting with those feelings and then creating with those feelings, because I feel like the best music comes out of, you know, honesty.
When you really put yourself into the music.
Exactly. And really put yourself and your feelings into the music, but really don't be scared to let go of those feelings as well. You know? Let it go by letting people know how you really feel.
Yeah, and I think some people may be scared about that, being too vulnerable.
Most definitely.
But when it comes to music, I feel like you kind of have to be vulnerable, because you're talking about your life, you're talking about yourself, your experiences.
Most
like,
definitely.
I think it's the most vulnerable thing you can do is make music. And
definitely. And you really want to, I mean, whatever you're feeling, there's definitely someone else that's feeling the same way. So if you can speak to people by being vulnerable, then, you know, let it all out there, man. We live in a world where we're gonna be judged, we're gonna be whatever.
People are gonna talk regardless.
YOLO,
you might as well
baby,
say what you want to
might
say.
as well,
Yeah.
you know? YOLO, you know? And that, you know, as black people, I feel like it's important that we become that. It's important that we step into our power and not be scared to say what we want to say.
And we want to hear more black voices so we can relate as well. Because, you know, because there's a lot of white voices, we can relate to that as well. But when you hear from a black person, it hits more, because it's like, wow, like, we're from the same place, and he feels like that. I felt like that too, but I didn't know that I can have that kind of feeling or express it.
It's really nice to know the different experiences between, like, within the black community. It's really to know that, we can walk together and stand together, but we also have different experiences between our communities that we need to bring together as well. So, you know, it's a great way for us to unite as African people.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice when we show unity. It's like, I love to go and play with my friends that are Ghanaian at their events and be like accepted as like, man, I'm a South African brother coming into a Ghanaian event and playing here and feeling like the unity of our blackness is so powerful to me, you know?
That's how I feel with my essays too. Like, I go to so many essay parties and sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm the only guy here, like, I'm gonna be awkward, but they love me. They're just like, hey, how you doing? It's just like, you know,
It's man, find that common ground. I think it's everything. I think it's powerful, and I think it's a way that we are gonna move and really like step into who we are supposed to be in this world. So, yeah.
And at the beginning of your career, was there anything that you didn't have or that you struggled with that you wish you had now?
I think, at the beginning of my career, I was never really like pushed into pursuing music. So it's not like I grew up like learning instruments and all that stuff. So I really just, my whole music career really just went off the feeling, and I guess like I had a natural ability to do music. So not having the skills in the beginning, that's probably something I didn't have the skills, but I just fell into doing it anyway. I think because it's really, like I said, it's like I felt like it was a God-given thing that he placed that in me to be able to do it. So it's, I mean, if there's any artists out there that feel like they don't have the skills and they're not good enough, and I think at that time when I started music, there wasn't so many artists and so much music to take in. It was just what I was trying to find and access myself. I wasn't seeing it on the internet like every minute, like, oh, someone dropped a new song, there's a new artist, there's this new artist. I wasn't seeing all that, so I really wasn't comparing myself to other people's skills.
You were just kind of like in your own.
Yeah, I think now you can really look at everyone and go, damn, am I good enough? Because you can compare yourself to other people's skills. But I think for new artists, like,
just compare yourself.
You like always bring it back to that feeling. Go with that feeling, man. If it makes you feel good, do it.
And what's the point of comparing yourself? Because like everyone's doing their own different thing. Like whoever you're comparing yourself, they're probably doing like a different genre, a different style, like something completely different
Most
to
definitely.
you.
Most definitely. And then also, I think the thing with artists is we're always evolving. So you're comparing yourself to someone that's also still trying to figure their own self out. So
that's true.
There's no need to compare. Just if you feel good about it, man, and you're with it, you love it, gives you life, just go for it.
Okay, so let's talk about the young boy movement. Tell me, where did this come from?
I think the young boy thing is always, my first album was entitled Young Boy Old Soul. And like if you listen to, it's always been my drop. It's like Young Boy. It's always been my thing. All my songs, you'll hear that. And that's my alias. It's like Mike Champion. I'm the young boy, like young boy R&B, young boy soul, or whatever in this country. But it really, I always thought about how, what's the connection I have with that, and how can I take that further? Because I always want to take things further. So, and then I have a son. My son Rome. He's 14 years old, and I really see, the community and young boys in Australia, I mean in the world, especially young black boys, just the influences that, society can have on them, the influences the internet can have on them. I know music is one of the biggest influences of young boys. So whatever music is doing, most young boys want to just go with that lifestyle. Or listen to the message in the music and be like, yo, that's what I want to be because it seems cool. So the young boy movement is just really me, seeing what's going on and seeing what's happening with our boys and the ways they're being influenced and, creating my own movement that can counter that, with positivity and really empowering young boys to be leaders amongst, So, I really try and push my son and, put him in a place and a state of mind where he can be entrepreneurial and know that he can create his own and also be a leader amongst his friends. You don't need to be influenced by everything that's going on. You can really take a step back and think when you're in situations, think about the situation, look at the situation from an outsider point of view and really make a decision that's going to benefit you. And your future, or make a decision that is really, going to inspire your friends to want to be better. So the young boy movement, it's just me being able to use my platform, which is music, which I know is influential in the young, demographic, and being able to be influential in a way that is going to build great young men, you know, in this world, and great mind state and great mentality, and just empower young boys to be more, because you can, you know, and also be outspoken, you know. Don't be scared to speak, because when trying to get young boys to say how they feel,
they don't like to talk.
It's hard work, man. It is hard work.
Young men don't like to talk. They don't like to say how they feel, what they're going through. Really? They kind of feel like, I don't know where it comes from, but it's just like well, I'm a man, so I just need to keep my emotions in check kind of thing.
Most definitely. Yeah, and I think breaking that mold, you know, like trying to counter that and go against that and really, you know, empower young boys to have a voice.
Have you been doing that with your son, making him a bit more open, telling him to like...
Definitely, about everything. Yeah. Everything, that's, you know, cool. And we definitely have the father-son relationship, but we're good friends as well, so I really...
Okay, with your music, what exactly... We can kind of tell what you're trying to get at, but with your music, what exactly is the message that you're trying to give out to people with your music?
I think it always comes back to love for me. Like, when I write... I really try. Sometimes I'm like, damn, do I write too much about love? But like for me, love is the answer, man. So you know, I just want to have it in all my songs. I want to have some aspect of you know, like love and relationships, and speaking about the times and how we can, you know, be better in these times. You know, so love is definitely it's a big conversation for me, you know, because I really want to just give off those vibes, you know. I want to be able to tell a stranger that, man, I love you, man, you know, like
it should just be open and free.
It should be, definitely. Like love should be a thing that is open and free, and we should just be able to give it to whoever we want to give it to, you know,
and love for ourselves as well.
Definitely, and I think it gives me, like, to be able to give love to someone that I don't know, and I do it. I try to do it, like, when I'm performing on stage. I just try to give my love to that audience, because I feel like it gives me life to do that. You know, I feel that the sensation of it moving through me, just being able to give it. It's like going to church. You know, when you feel God moving through you, the Spirit moving through you, it can really change your perception of your day, and you know, in all your life. It can change the perception of your life, the way you look at life, the way you move through life. So I really use my music to just try and push the concept of love, and really trying to think about it in everything you do. You know, and don't be scared to give it to people and share it with people, because, you know, it can, man, it can move mountains.
It definitely can. It definitely can. No, thank you so much for today. Like, thank you for coming. Great conversation, and talking to you. I can really hear, like, your passion, and, like, your soul's really into this. Like, it's not just something that you're just doing because, like, you know, you want to try and make money, clout, any of that. Like, this is something that is truly passionate for you. And it's beautiful to see, and I can't wait to see other shows. I can't wait to see your new, your three-part album. Is it an album? EP? EP? Can't wait for that to come. Cool. The Black Girl Magic video, all of that. You got plenty of stuff coming up, so I can't wait to see it. Wishing you the best, and wishing you nothing but success.
Thank you so much for having me. Just to be in the space with you, I'm honored, I'm blessed, and you know, I hope that we just stay connected and just keep pushing the movement forward, and pushing our people forward, and just bringing great message into the world. So I just thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, thank you for watching today's show. If you loved it, please give us a like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you think, and follow us on our socials on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Bye.